coming up. Big Time Wrestling.
Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Don Koss, for Big Time Wrestling. Today, main event. A main event they were not going to have on television, but they've decided to go ahead and show it anyway. Rip Oliver and Coco Samoa. A grudge match, a title match. And we've got more action where that came from, too. And, of course, news and interviews and everything right after this. Don't go away. I just realized it didn't happen. And here we go. Big Time Wrestling coming your way right from the arena. Glad to have you along. Good crowd here in the arena. And if you're watching us in Seattle on KTZZ Channel 22, certainly welcome you folks. Appreciate your viewership. And you might drop a line to KTZZ. Tell them you watch Big Time Wrestling. And that is probably the finest thing that ever happened in your life. Can you do that for us? Appreciate that. You folks over in the Spokane area, you're watching Big Time Wrestling on Cox Cable, and we certainly are very appreciative to the folks at Cox Cable for showing Big Time Wrestling every Tuesday and Thursday. Here's Don Owen.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next event will be one fall. Introducing in this corner, 235 pounds from North Carolina, Stoney Burke. His opponent in this corner, 224 pounds from the South Pacific, Tama Samoa. Coco will be meeting Rip Oliver in the final bout this evening for the Northwest Heavyweight Championship. This will be on last. Thank you.
So we said before that was a bout they were not going to have on TV, the Coco Samoa Rip Oliver bout. If you've been watching the past couple of weeks, you, I'm sure, have already heard what happened to Coco Samoa 2 weeks ago in a match with Rip Oliver. Coco had salt thrown into his face, into his eyes. He was taken to the hospital. He has a patch over one eye, an eye that was severely damaged by that salt. He's going to be okay. The eye will be all right, but he has to wear that patch on it. He can't get anything in the eye. But that was such a terrible thing to do, because that could have blinded Coco. Needless to say, Coco Samoa has more than a grudge or a feud going with Rip Oliver. He has a war going with Oliver, and that ring is going to be the battlefield in just a little bit. Our main event, Rip Oliver and Coco Samoa. This should be a pretty scientific match. It should be, but you never know. Tempers can flare, egos can get bruised, and then friends can become bitter enemies in a matter of seconds. Stoney Burke and Tama Samoa. National Wrestling Alliance referee Sandy Barr, third man in the squared circle. Into the ropes goes Stoney Burke. Oh, a shoulder tackle, and down hard goes Tama Samoa. Now takedown by Stoney. Head scissors by Tama. Tama Samoa, another one of the Samoan barefooted wrestlers. We have another barefooted wrestler in the Northwest, not Samoan, but certainly very, very exciting. That is Vinny Valentino. He made his debut today. just before we went on the air. Very impressive young man from Arizona. Don Owen found out about Vinny from Rowdy Roddy Piper, brought him in here. And he's going to be a very, very exciting wrestler to watch. This is our first match today on Big Time Wrestling. Tama Samoa and Stoney Burke. You can just kind of feel, like Lonnie Main used to say, the excitement in the air, the tension. It's all because of our main event. You folks over in the Pendleton area, Pendleton, Oregon, we're going to be coming your way on August 3rd. That's tomorrow, Sunday, 8 o'clock, at Pendleton Armory. And the Clan's going to be there. Coco Samoa. And Vinny Valentino will be there. And we may have our new tag team there too. Don Owen is bringing in a super hot tag team from the East Coast. These two young men have been compared to the Rock and Roll Express on the East Coast, and they call themselves the Santa Fe Express. Well, they're going to be here next week, and I believe that they will be on that card in Pendleton. You can get your tickets at the Club Cigar Store in Pendleton for that match tomorrow, Sunday. And then Monday, August 4th, we're going to be at J.M. Perry Tech, starting at 8 o'clock. This is the match everybody will want to see. Coco Samoa. This man is on fire. He's out for blood. He's asked for a match with Rip Oliver. In fact, he's asked Don Owen to put him in against Rip Oliver in every town that they're in. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen in every town, but it looks like we're certainly going to have it today. And it looks like it's going to be happening in Yakima on Monday the 4th. You can get your tickets there at the country store in Yakima. And then on Tuesday, August 5th, we're going to be in White Swan, Washington, 8 o'clock. Big Time Wrestling come to the White Swan Pavilion. This will be, in fact, this is going to be the biggest card ever that they've ever held in White Swan. And over the 10-man over-the-top battle royal for a $1,000 prize going to the last man in the card. This one's sponsored by the White Swan Ambulance Service. A little bit later on, we'll tell you how you can sponsor pro wrestling to raise money for charity. We'll tell you about that a little bit later. Right now, Stoney Burke, Coco Samoa. Really working up a sweat out there. There's a body slam by Stoney Burke on Coco. Here comes an arm whip into the ropes. Oh, and Stoney misses with an elbow. Flying body press by Coco Samoa. If he'd had a little more weight on him, he might have been able to pull that one off. Coco, of course, giving up quite a bit of size, a lot of height, and quite a bit of weight to Stoney Burke. Stoney backs Coco against the turnbuckle. Sandy Barr asking for a clean break, and he's got it. Small package. Coco Samoa wrapping Stoney Burke up in a small package. Stoney gets out after the count of 2. Body slam by Stoney. There goes an arm whip into the ropes. Elbow from Stoney Burke on Coco Samoa. Now he's got Coco again against the turnbuckle, driving into him like a tackling dummy. And there comes a whip into the turnbuckle on the other side. And oh, what a move by Tama Samoa. 1, 2, and Stoney kicks out. If I call Tama Coco every once in a while, I apologize. And I did. I was calling him Coco for a while. Tama Samoa, of course. We've been talking about Tama Samoa battling Rip Oliver in the main event, and Tama Samoa got a 2 count on Stoney Burke. Now Stoney gets a 2 count on Tama. Another 2 count. And we have run out of time in our first match today on Big Time Wrestling. Tama Samoa battling to a draw with Stoney Burke. Both men shake hands. Good sportsmanship. And getting a nice round of applause from the folks here in the arena. We will be back with our second match and a special interview after this timeout.